Hey everybody, today's demonstration speech will be on screenplays, script writing, something I've been doing now for the last 2 to 3 years. Just on the basics, really, nothing too in-depth. Every movie you've ever seen, every TV show you've ever seen, whether that's a sitcom or a drama series and things of that nature, those have to start somewhere. There's got to be a foundation for all of that somewhere. They just obviously don't go and start recording and say, let's just do whatever we want. It comes from a specific guideline, and that is the scripts. And there are a few different ways to write a script, especially for the type of genre you're filming. And I'm not talking genre like sci-fi, no. I meant like screenplays are for film. There are TV series type formatting as well, but those are pretty advanced stuff. And according to Final Draft's official screenplay formatting guide, professional screenplay formatting creates consistency and readability throughout the film industry. So today I just want to touch on a few basics. So you'll have to excuse the back and forth if I switch my eye contact between the screen and here. I am recording this in my car, again, for noise purposes. Kids are very loud, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started. Click the new file on Final Draft. Final Draft is a paid software program that you can get to write scripts, and it's pretty pricey. I would not recommend you buy in such software if you're not going to take it serious or you're really not going to be super invested in learning the craft. It is a complicated thing. Starting here, I will teach three basic things. Scene headings, action sentences, and then dialogue. And you can format those. Those have to be formatted specifically. What you write in them is up to you. If you let's get into it. So what we'll see first is there's interior and exterior. If you pull up any script, you study any script, you'll know that there's always an inside of a place and outside of a place. If, for example, interior, John's house, or no, interior bedroom, John's house, John's home. And very important, at the very end, so what you'll have is interior and exterior. That is your inside outside. Bedroom will be the specific place you're in while that scene is being made. In this case, we have it in John's bedroom, inside John's home. What comes after John's home is night and day, and that's pretty basic. There's other ways you can do it with continuous, evening, afternoon, early morning, late night, whatever you want at the end. But again, those are intermediate to advanced type things. Keep it pretty basic right now. We're going to go night. And the only reason you type anything at the end, though, is to show that, the reason you would write day and night is you're actually showing the time of day, obviously. But you only type night and day or give a time of day if the viewer can actually see it on camera. So in this case, for example, I'm in the car. On the window behind me, you can clearly see that it's daytime. I would write day because you would visually see that on camera. You would visually see that. So everything on a script that you can visually see must be written down. So that's what we call this top piece here from interior to night is called a scene heading. What comes after scene heading is everything that happens within the scene, whether that's an action or a sound or you're describing the scene. But that gets a little complicated because as script readers or people who are making films, they don't want to read too much detail about the scene. Let the they have designers on set designers. Let them come up with that, but give them just a little bit. So in this case, we're going to go John's bedroom. We're going to say John. And very importantly, John is caps when you first introduce John. Anytime you introduce a character in an action scene, always capitalize it the first time you introduce them. And you don't have to go into detail. You can if it's very specific. You don't have to go into detail describing exactly what he's wearing or what he looks like. I tend to, if it's going to be up to the costume designers, set designers, the director, or even those that storyboard, if it's up to them to come up with John's design, I'll leave that up to them. I give John an age. So I'll go early, oh, I'm sorry, don't caps that. Early 30s. Put it in parentheses because then you're specifying to that character, comma, early 30s, sitting or sits at the edge of his bed, staring out the window as it pours. Let's reverse it. Staring out the window as lightning. Jesus, I can't spell. I'm sorry. Lightning is striking just outside. Seems a little redundant. We know that he's looking out the window, staring out the window as lightning is striking just outside. We know that lightning only strikes outside. So that, the reason I put that is important because redundancy in scripts, and that gets, we don't want the repetitive stuff. We want simplicity, quick, easy to the point, just enough information to give the visual. So sits at the end of the bed. We could say, we can reverse, or we can get rid of end and go edge of his bed. Gives it a much stronger visual. Staring out the window as lightning strikes. We just say that. We know that lightning only strikes outside. If you wanted to be a little more detailed, a little more complex, you could say lightning strikes outside. Now we'll leave it like that. I don't want to get too in depth, too in detail. We could say that he was visibly shook. Maybe he woke up from the lightning. We could say something like that. I don't want to go too in depth, but what we'll do is we'll go dialogue. So we know that John's the only character in the scene. Dialogue is formatted very specifically. John, if you notice, is right down the middle of the page. John will always be caps. Every character you write in dialogue will always be caps. It's just the way the software works, and that's just the way formatting works through Final Draft and any other script you write. I hit enter, backspace enter, sorry. And then what we'll do here is we'll say corny. Let's just go corny. Damn. It's a disco show outside. Sorry, autocorrect here, or typo there. It's a disco show outside. We could just say that. It gives the reader a visual on what John is seeing. But I'm just going to throw a little nugget in there. If we want to go and throw a parenthetical in there, which gives the actor who's reading it you shouldn't always do this. Leave it up to the director, leave it up to the actor. But sometimes if you want to get a point across as a writer, you throw a parenthetical and you'll see the parentheses up there. I would say maybe I want him to be very specific with how he delivers this line. We'll write in sarcastic. So that's the basics. I'm not gonna go. I'm at 9 minutes right now. I don't want to go too in depth, but this right here is the simple basics of screenwriting. A little nugget here for you all. TV shows are usually about 30 to 60 pages long. And each page, it's just like an inside rule, but it's not really anything particular. If you go on to some of the scripts that have been written and you've got massive scenes where all they're doing is talking, you'll understand what I mean by this. Each page is supposed to be 1 minute on screen. Do not restrict yourself in that way, because what you end up doing is while you're writing, you end up thinking about, oh, okay, I've got a minute here, but I don't actually know that's a minute. I've written 2 pages before and it turns out that it's only a minute. I've written 20 pages and it only turns out to 7 minutes. So it really depends on the writer, but it's about making sure that we write enough to give the visual. So in closing, this is something it's a little complex. It is not the same formatting as writing a book, but every show, every TV show, everything you've ever seen on TV most likely has started with this foundation, this specific formatting for, again, it's a foundation. It's really a guideline. Most TV shows, most movies actually follow what's on the page. Sometimes you improv, sometimes you go a little bit around what is written, you add your own stuff, or you shorten up the line, maybe the monologue's too long. But it's something I've been enjoying the last 2-3 years, and it motivates me to see others begin their writing journey, or talk about an interest in something like that. I like to help. If anybody's ever interested, it's on the YouTube. This will be on the YouTube, or you can email the school email. So I appreciate your time. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.